and you are looking live at sold out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Washington Commanders. Why the Washington Commanders 0-16? Huh? Because they suck, man. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there, anybody at all, going to spend a little bit of time with me here to see them? I greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much. Or anybody going to spend any time at all watching the replay this, once again, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. You guys absolutely rock. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, as I try to always do. Shoot my mouth off. Anybody got anything to say? Just throw that in the chat box. I usually check on the chat box like every, 5 minutes or so or whatever. So anything that's put in the chat box, I always try to respond to it, so feel free to fire away. Usually there's not much going in the chat box, so I have plenty of time to respond to anything that goes in there, right? So please feel free to fire away. And before I get started, anybody wants to help support my channel, I would greatly appreciate it so much. It would mean so much to me. I got 3 different levels. There's the top link, okay, in the description box. You click on it, it'll take you to a membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one is called the Saquon, okay? The second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, right? And then the third membership level I have is called the Gridiron, right? Each one's got their own little perks to them and all. But there's a couple cool things. There's loyalty badges. It shows that each one, the loyalty badges, each one is a helmet, a different style helmet from the Giants. The older the helmet is, the longer you've been a member of my channel. Okay, so it's pretty cool. There's also emojis. I have 4 emojis as of right now. There will be a 5th one coming out eventually. But you can use them in the chat box or whatever like that. They're pretty cool. I had somebody on Fiverr design them. They're pretty cool looking. So anybody want to help support my channel, it would mean the world to me. I greatly appreciate it. And then if you're not subscribed to the channel, click that subscribe button below. All right. And hit the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or I put a video out or whatever, you'll be notified. And that's absolutely free of charge. All right. And then finally, in the once again, in the description box below, okay, there's a couple links. One is I got a couple of pages, but there's one or more I'm more a little active on than I will be active on both pages coming up. But I mean, as of right now, is a 1 page and a group. Okay, the group that I believe the top link is the group. Okay, it's called the Gridiron. Oddly enough, right now there's over 1,800 members in there. Okay. And what we do, I mean, every day there's at least 5 to 10 different things, new things going in there every day, updates and, everything. So, and some of the members post stuff in there as well too. Okay. So every day, feel free, to become a member, and that way you can add content to the group as well, just like a lot of other members do. Right. So we're always very active in there. Right. And then also, okay, there's another link. All right, it's one of the pages that I have. Okay, it's probably the top link for the pages. All right, it's called once again. That one's called the Gridiron. Okay, how original, huh? But that one is right now. I have 275 people who like the page. Okay, and there's 482 people who are following the page. Right. I mean, I'll tell you, I'm getting probably 10 to 15 new people every day following the page. It's really seemed to be coming on. It's really seemed to be taking off. It's the same thing as with the group. Okay. Every day I'm putting at least 5 to 10 different things in there every day. All right. Fresh new content in there every day. So please feel free, click on the group, become a member. Click on the page, New York Giants Gridiron, the page, like it, become a follower as well. So, the more it grows, the better it is for everybody, especially the group. I mean, the group is just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, right? So then I got all that stuff out of the way. We got, I'll tell you what, the one thing that kind of really helped the Giants get going, has been the one thing that's been kind of a little lacking. So, in their recent games, it seems like, I don't know, it's they've been kind of figuring ways to kind of take Saquon out of the game or kind of slow down the running game or what it is. But, the Giants, let's see. Let me see if I get these stats up here. Let's see what we got here. Is that? Nope, that's the Washington football team. There we go. Now the Giants. Okay, I mean, the as they run, right? So go the victories. Okay, I mean, 3 out of the last 4 games, obviously they lost. Okay, now the one loss against the Seattle Seahawks, they had 225 yards of offense. I mean, if you expect to win any football games with 225 yards of offense, you're kind of crazy. You're really kidding yourself. I mean, the Seahawks did a phenomenal job of just shutting down pretty much everything. I mean, we had 147 yards passing, 78 yards rushing. Okay. Now, the thing was with that, I mean, is that, that's the Giants. That's kind of like the bread and butter. That's where the Giants can control the clock, right? Wear down the defense, right? Keep the other team's offense off the field, which way it's been so much like this year. Okay. So it's like, we're, just trying to control the clock, making no stupid turnovers that cost the team or anything like that. Run the ball, chew the clock up, shorten the game. Okay. Shorten the game. Okay. Which is huge. All right. But I said against the Seahawks, we had 78 yards rushing. Okay. I mean, the Seahawks, give them all the credit in the world. I mean, they did a really, really good job. However, I mean, they only had 277 yards of offense. All right. So, but I mean, you got to get more than 225 yards. I mean, the Seahawks, give them credit. Then when we played the Texans, okay, we had that balance. I mean, the Texans are not a very good team. Okay. We had phenomenally well-balanced game, okay, against the Texans. 191 yards rushing, 176 passing, 367 yards of total offense. We had no turnovers, okay, which wound up being huge, right? Then, of course, it's one thing's, kind of just kill you, just turnovers, and that's what we had against the Lions. Had the 3 turnovers, okay? I mean, Aiden Hutchinson's interception, he dropped back into coverage, of course, just where he just dropped back at. I guess I'm not sure if, that's a film study, right? Right? I mean, they see the Giants in a certain look or something like that. Okay, Aiden, you're dropping back. Go right over here. This is where Daniel Jones 1-2 step, and, and with that, that's got to be like just turn and, turn and throw. It's like, 1, 2, 3, boom, throw. And it's like, oh, there's a defender there. It's not like he was, it was just like throw and get the ball intercepted. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson just seemed to just drop back right exactly where Daniel Jones was going to throw the ball at, right? So that could be good kudos to the Lions, good, film study. But, I mean, the Giants had 89 yards of rushing. I mean, it's kind of, one of the things is when you start falling way behind, it's, hey, we're down by 24 points. Let's establish the run. There's got to be a point in time where, you got to start picking it up. I mean, the Giants were down, what was it, 31-12, I believe it was, right? And they finally got that last touchdown. They went for 2, didn't get it. But, the 3 turnovers. And the thing was they had 3 turnovers, okay, against the Lions, but they didn't get any. Okay. And then you got to give the Lions all the credit in the world. I mean, talking about a balanced offense. Holy cow. The Lions against 160 yards rushing, 165 yards passing. Balanced. No turnovers. Phenomenal job by the Lions. Absolutely. Okay. So once again, we had under 100 yards rushing, we lost. We took the L. Okay. Then against the Cowboys, once again, 90 yards rushing. We had no turnovers. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've had turnovers in 6 games. Okay. Right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So, all right. So, so about half the games we had turnovers. And, 5 of the games we didn't have any turnovers. Okay. And 6 of the games we've had turnovers, right? So we've had, what we got? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've had 11 turnovers so far. Okay. So, I mean, nothing super horrible. I mean, played 11 games, 11 turnovers, 1 turnover a game. Obviously, of course, if you ask a coach, right, and if you have 1 turnover in a season, it's too many, right? I mean, there's never a good number of turnovers. If you will go 5 years and you have 1 turnover, it's too many, right? So, but I mean, averaging 1 a game, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay. Lord knows we've had worse. Okay. But on the other side, you also like to get turnovers as well. Now, the Giants do get some fumble recoveries. We are a little lacking in the interception department. Okay. But, as I said, against the Cowboys, we had 90 yards rushing. And, so, I mean, 3 out of the last 4 games, we had under 100 yards rushing and we lost. Okay. So now I'm not sure, if the other teams are kind of figuring out what the Giants are doing and we're able to really slow the run game down because the Giants, it's tough. I mean, with the receivers that we have, okay, just trying to go out there and gunsling it up and down the field against any other team, right? It's going to be very, very difficult. The Giants, have lack of firepower. All right, so hopefully the Giants can get their running game going. Now, I mean, against Washington, I'll tell you what, was it against the Texans? Who the hell was it? Defense. Yeah. Yeah, they gave up 21 yards rushing against the Texans, the Washington Commanders. I mean, holy cow. The Falcons, very balanced. It was just like the Lions against the Giants. The Falcons, when they played the Falcons this past weekend, 167 yards rushing for the Falcons, 165 yards passing. Balanced. And the Falcons were very close. There were just a little tip pass at the end of the game away from coming up away from the victory on that one. That was a tough loss for the Falcons, and that hurt their playoff chances. Obviously, they didn't knock them out of the playoffs, but that hurt their playoff chances. But I mean, if you look, I mean, the Commanders, right? They gave up 21 yards rushing to the Texans. The Eagles, they only gave up 94 yards rushing to the Eagles. I mean, their defense, and it's without Chase Young too. Okay, he's ready to come back. There's been some little, I don't know, whispers out there that he might play this weekend. We'll have to wind up waiting and seeing. I don't know if they're going to want him to come back on turf, on this bad turf that the Giants have, or they're going to want to wait maybe another week. We'll have to wait and see, because the Commanders, they play the Giants on the road, then they have a bye week, and then they play the Giants when they come back from the bye week. So they might want to get possibly Chase Young. Hopefully, it would be nice. Give him another week off, okay, and then have a bye week, all right, and then bring him back at home on the grass against the Giants, all right. But I mean, the Commanders done a very, very good job. The Commanders only gave up 264 yards to the Eagles, only 94 yards rushing. The Commanders only gave up 56 yards rushing to the Vikings, 38 yards rushing to the Packers, 62 yards rushing to the Cowboys. Okay, the Cowboys only got 279 yards against them. Cowboys had 15 first downs, 279 yards rushing, 62 yards. 279 yards of total offense, 62 yards rushing against the Cowboys did against the Commanders defense. All right, the Commanders gave up only 72 yards rushing the other time to the Eagles. So I mean, the Commanders have a very good, solid. Obviously, we know their front four. Well, less Chase Young, but their front is very, very good. Okay, so really gonna have to work it out for them without question. All right, so but I mean the Giants, They're not going to be able to stand back there. It's okay. You take the run away. Well, we're just going to beat you with the pass. I mean, the Giants have to find a way, okay, to get going. All right. And there's an article here. I got that. Run, Daniel, run. Giants hope to get more from quarterback Daniel Jones as a runner. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't know. Over the first 7 games of the season, Daniel Jones carried the ball 58 times at 343 yards. That averaged 8.3 carries per game, 5.9 yards per attempt, and 49 yards per game. Okay. Over the past 4 games, following an 11-carry, 107-yard game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, Jones' pace has slowed. In that time, he has 21 carries, 108 yards. That's 5.2 yards a carry. Okay. Only 27 yards a game. So basically half of what he was doing. All right. And he got 5.1 yards per attempt. Okay. So, I mean, the guy's a good athlete. Okay. He's got to they got to find a way to get him, to get some carries, extend the drive, keep the defense, the Washington Commanders defense on the field, tire them out a little bit. Right. They got to find some way to do it. We got Mike Kafka said, I think defenses have done a good job of defending that, meaning Daniel Jones running the ball. When we look at the schemes of how we get DJ on the perimeter, some teams might play the defensive end just a little bit different so that they take away the quarterback run, if that's being effective. We got to be flexible and create complements off of these things. Yep. I mean, you just can't do it. I mean, over and over and over because, the teams are too good. They got the film study there and say, oh, okay, that's what they do. All right, well, we'll just take that away. They take it away. Well, then you got to go to plan B. Then the other teams look and they, somewhere along the line, they take plan B away. Okay, now we're going to plan C. You got to have, you always got to be one step ahead. You just can't keep doing, the same stuff over and over and over and expect the same results. That's insanity. Okay. We said we got to be flexible and create complements off those things. That's where we are right now. Within the season, it's going to what we're really doing really well. How can we build complements off of those things? And then we have to go and execute it too, right? Jones is 5th among quarterbacks with 451 rushing yards. Kafka knows the Giants need more from the quarterback portion of the run game down the stretch. Absolutely. Sure, it helps. It's part of every game plan, Kafka says, being multiple with the run schemes, being able to use the backs, being able to use DJ out in space on a couple of different things. It's something we look at every single week. So, I mean, they got to figure something out. I mean, being able, obviously you don't want Daniel Jones taking a lot of hits, but I mean, finding ways just to get, to get him some rushing yards, whether it's a designed run, whether it's like have him dropping back in the pocket, and having him taken off a few times, right? Just, right? I mean, they got to find something. Because they're not good enough, okay, to, just go out there and just maul the other team to death. Okay. And, we don't have a Derrick Henry back there where he can just run people over. All right. You kind of wondering like with Saquon too. We've been having him run the ball a lot. Okay. He had the 35 game run performance, right? That's a lot of runs for Saquon. Okay. It's a lot of touches. It's a lot of wear on the body. Right. Kind of wondering if he's starting maybe wearing down maybe a little bit. Considering because when was the last time he had a full season? Right? Last time he had a full season was his rookie season, right? His second season, he got over 1,000 yards rushing, okay, which was great, but he missed a couple games. But over the past couple of seasons, he's been injured, so he's starting to get a little bit of a workload. It was something he hasn't had in years, right? So we got here, all right, how the Giants can jumpstart their running game. Well, we'll say. After the disappointing 28-20 loss to the Cowboys, The Giants find themselves in unfamiliar territory this season. They lost back-to-back games for the first time this year in what has been an unexpected resurgence under new head coach Brian Daboll. Right? At the heart of their struggles over the last two games has been an inability to find consistency in the run game. 3 of their 4 losses this season came when they failed to rush for over 100 yards. The only other defeat, a Week 3 loss to the Cowboys, saw the team rush for 167 yards, but only rushed the ball 25 times in the game. These facts seem to hold the key to their recent in-game struggles and the solution to the problem. The Giants have failed to rush for over 90 yards in their recent losses to the Cowboys and Lions. Also in Week 8, when they went to Seattle, they didn't even get 80 yards rushing. Okay. All 3 games had something in common. The offense did not run the ball 30 or more times. They ran the ball 21 times at Dallas, 26 at Detroit, and 28 versus Seattle. As previously mentioned, the run total was sub 30 in their first meeting with the Cowboys this year, too. So, get the run, keep running the ball, don't stop running the ball. Could it be as simple as running the ball a handful of times more each game? Not exactly. Of course not. But the statistics support a philosophy and game plan that has resulted in 7 victories this season. The Giants have relied on a bend but don't break defense and an offense that not only doesn't turn the ball over but takes advantage of the opposition's turnovers. Then they use a talent like Saquon Barkley mixed with the running ability of Daniel Jones to create explosive plays and continue to possess the ball. Keep the clock running, shorten the game, right? Despite all the injuries the offense and defense has suffered, the consistency has been in the game plan and Barkley and Jones' availability. So how do they solve the problem? Part of it is that injuries on the offensive line have taken away some of their pop in the run game, which is true. I mean, you might even have some guys in there, but like Nick Gates had a very good game against the Cowboys, but you got these different guys going in there. It's tough every game to go in there. Oh, we got to put these 5 guys in there this week because these other guys are injured. Okay, then we're going to get an injury this week. Okay, so the next week we're going to start another 5. It's so tough to, especially week in and week out, just put different bunch of guys in there and expect, fantastic results. I mean, it helps, when the guys, you get the same 5 guys in there, right? They know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and all. That's huge. So hopefully we're going to start getting some guys back. We're going to maybe soon get Bredesen back there, get Neal back there. Okay, maybe get Feliciano. We got Thomas, right? Neal's coming back, so we got our 2 tackles. Hopefully we can get Bredesen in there. Right. And maybe, get Nick Gates in there, at one of the positions. I don't know if Feliciano is going to be starting at center, or if we're going to put Gates in there, but you still got Glowinski there. Right. Okay. So, so if you get a couple more of these guys back in these last 5-6 games or so of the season, we keep the same, if we can stay healthy and keep the same 5 guys or so in there, that would be huge. Right. While rookie right tackle Evan Neal has had his issues in pass protection, he's been solid in the run blocking game. But, which is true. However, he's been out the past bunch of weeks, right? So he's coming back. So let's hope he'll give us a shot in the arm, all right, this week against the Commanders. All right. So, Neal, and then also let's not forget Bellinger too. Neal, along with other injuries along the line and the absence of tight end Daniel Bellinger, had disrupted the chemistry, right? But Neal's supposed to be coming back, and quite possibly we're going to get Bellinger back this week too. Okay, so get that chemistry going once again, which will be huge. All right, it disrupted the chemistry that we're developing through the first half of the season. Not to mention that the Giants have had their struggles at the second level. Getting those back in place can revitalize the run game, right? Another component that can help the running game has been the use of Daniel Jones as a runner. Jones, who dealt with a high ankle sprain earlier this season, has 451 yards rushing this season. But in 2 of the last 3 losses, he has carried the ball 9 times for 34 yards, perhaps a result of that ankle injury. So it is not only a statistical effect, but the impact he makes as a running threat on how defenses can attack Barkley. So it is. I mean, when it's like they don't have to, zone in on Barkley and, what Daniel Jones is going to do. And they can just kind of, Daniel Jones is probably not going to hurt us, right? I mean, we can just zone in on Saquon. It's tough. It's so tough. I said, as we know, the Commanders, I mean, it's been years, right? I mean, the Redskins / Washington football team / Commanders, that front four, very good, very stout. So, but then you also don't want to get it where you're falling behind and you got to just start chucking the ball almost on every down because their defensive front can just tee off on you. I mean, it could be a long game, right? So hopefully, the Giants. So we have Bredesen here, all right, with the availability here is available. There's a chance that Nick Gates, who started at center and lost to the Cowboys, will move in at left guard. We'll have to wait and see. Our rookie Joshua Zudu, who started 2 games at left guard, remains out with his knee injury. Okay, he's played all the positions and practiced them. Dable said, downplaying the move from center to guard for Gates. Whether you run power in one person's scheme or power in the next, there's only just subtle differences, Dayball said. Gates, in his time with the Giants, has started 18 games at center, 2 at right tackle, 1 apiece at left guard and right guard. Right. But let's also not forget, it was when he had, when he got injured last year against the Washington football team. That's when he was playing guard. He was taking over for Lemieux, who got hurt. Okay, and we had Price in there at center. Nick Gates slid over to left guard, and that's when he got bull rushed, and he got injured. Right. So we have the Giants are getting healthier, but they listed only 15 players on the injury report. 5 players did not practice. Richie James, Gary Brightwell, Shane Lemieux, Zudu, and Jackson. 8 players were limited. Daniel Bellinger with his eye, Dane Belton with his clavicle, Carter Coughlin with a thigh, John Feliciano with his neck, Cordell Flott with concussion, Darnay Holmes with his shoulder, Fabian Moreau with an oblique, and Leonard Williams with his neck. And he said we got 2 players who were listed as full participants, Evan Neal and Tyree Phillips. So Giants are getting, they're getting some guys back, but I'll tell you what, they still got a boatload of guys on the injury report. Then I saw this other article here, which kind of piqued my interest here. Said the Giants could possibly land a very strong arm quarterback, says an analysis. Says. Now, we got to realize, okay, even if the Giants just say they lose their next, say, 6 games, say they wind up 7-10, okay, well, then they're going to wind up, okay, drafting 12, somewhere around there, 13, somewhere in there, okay? So it'll be tough. I mean, because what you see a lot of is with Levis, right? I mean, some of the quarterbacks, they got the top 3 guys, okay, coming out, okay? Now, what I see a lot of is that like Stroud, Young, and Levis, okay, that these guys going to possibly go in the top 5, all right? So now the Giants, and the Giants would have to lose their next 6 games, which means they would have to lose the last 8 games of the season. Pretty much, yeah. And they would go from 7-2 to 7-10, right? And then I said that would put them at like, I said like 12, somewhere around it, 11, 12, 13, whatever the case might be. They'd have to, they'd have to fork out some, some ammo, some draft picks to jump into the top 5 to try to get one of those 3 quarterbacks, quite possibly, right? But in this article here, okay, if the Giants were to say win obviously a couple games and say they wind up 9-8, just say, okay, say they, which is quite possible. They have a very tough road, right? Say they, they win 2 of their next 6 games, right? They go 2-4. They wind up 9-8. Well, in that case, okay, they're going to be drafting, I don't know, 17, 18, 19, somewhere in that area. Now, if they will win 10 games, now, and maybe make the playoffs, okay, now you're talking they're going to be in the 20s, all right? So according to this article, okay, the Giants are drafting, late, right? Second half of the first round, okay? There's a quarterback here with a strong arm, according to this one article here, that they think the Giants might take a gamble at, okay? New York Giants first-year head coach Brian Daboll was the offensive coordinator with the Buffalo Bills and helped turn raw 2018 first-round quarterback Josh Allen into a Pro Bowl talent. Could Daboll turn Daniel Jones into a Pro Bowler as well? Absolutely. I don't know about that, but the team's playmakers and offensive line have been underwhelming, which could have to do with his Pro Football Focus rating of 67.4. which is 21st in the league. So, you got, whoever's number one. I keep throwing this out with the Eagles. Take Jalen Hurts, right? Put Jalen Hurts behind the Giants' offensive line. Give Jalen Hurts, let him throw to Tanner Hudson and Chris Myrick, okay, and all the other Giant wide receivers, okay? And let's see how well Jalen Hurts does, okay? He's not. Okay, he's not. All right, it's got to do. He's a good quarterback. He's got a phenomenal offensive line. His Goddard, his tight end, right? DeVonta Smith, AJ Brown, right? He's got good wide receivers, good tight end, right? And they're healthy. Okay, they go out there and they catch the ball and they're healthy. Everybody's healthy, right? But I said, certainly, whether you want to admit it or not, without question, the lack of talent the Giants have at the wide receiver position, it's very difficult to have outstanding numbers, okay? But no matter what happens the rest of the season, the Giants will have to make a decision on Jones, who was in the last year of his rookie contract in 2022. Big Blue did not exercise the 2019 first-round fifth-year option, right? So according to the Draft Network's Joe Marino, in his latest mock draft, the Giants could select Florida quarterback Anthony Richardson with the 24th pick in 2023. Right? Because he's kind of a rawish kind of talent, not having a phenomenal season, not as phenomenal season as people thought he might wind up having, where he would be in the top 10. Okay, but we'll know soon enough. But there are some rumblings out there that Anthony Richardson is going to declare for the 2023 NFL draft because he's a junior, right? So he can either go back to college for a year or he can declare for the draft. Let's live in a world where that is true, Marino said. While he's far from a polished quarterback, Richardson has every desirable trait necessary to be a unicorn at the position. The last time Brian Daboll had one of those, it worked out quite well. In Marino's mock draft, Richardson was the fourth quarterback off the board. The signal callers who went before the Florida quarterback were Bryce Young, Will Levis, and C.J. Stroud. Okay. A profile of Anthony Richardson. Last season, Richardson appeared in just 7 games for the Gators. He threw for 529 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. On the ground, he rushed for 401 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's a big guy. He's like 6'4"? Yeah. 6'4", weighs over 230. So he puts on a little bit of weight. He'd be like 6'4", 245 pounds. Oh yeah. Right? Good athlete. The 2022 season was the first time that Richardson would be given clear-cut quarterback number 1 duties for Florida. Richardson's numbers haven't been exactly eye-popping this season in college. Right? He posted a 53.8% completion percentage, which is a lot similar to what Josh Allen was doing when he was at Wyoming, right? He was just cannon of an arm, right? A little over 50% completion percentage, right? Kind of raw. Needed some tuning up, right? So this past season, he has 2,549 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, 9 interceptions this season. He also has 654 rushing yards and 9 scores on the ground, all right? Yet Luke Easterling of USA Today compared Richardson to Buffalo's Josh Allen, who also had similar final numbers the season stats to Richardson. Allen had 56.3 completion percentage, 1,812 passing yards, 16 touchdowns, 16 interceptions in his final season at Wyoming. He had 16 touchdowns in his final season, 1,800 yards passing. That's it. Completed 50-something% of his passes, 1,800 yards passing in his senior season at Wyoming. And he got picked, what is it, number 7? So, right. There was some raw talent there, and it's paying off. All right. He also, Josh Allen also had 204 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns on the ground that year as well. So, it says here, if a quarterback-needy team is looking for the next Allen in the 2023 NFL draft, they just might find one in Florida's Anthony Richardson. It's easy to watch Richardson's film this season and be reminded of Allen's last season at Wyoming, when he flashed otherworldly potential alongside some head-scratching moments. His completion percentage wasn't impressive. His penchant for playing hero ball on every snap got him into trouble just as often as it helped him. And he was plagued by the same decision-making consistency issues that Richardson dealt with earlier this season. The Draft Network's profile on Richardson says he has a very strong arm, okay? Just like Josh Allen does, right? It says here in a game against Florida State on November 25th, he threw an accurate 50-yard touchdown missile to wide receiver Ricky Pearsall Jr. They got the hardly steps into the pass at all. Oh yeah, dude, that's an arm. Say, should the Giants bring back Jones in 2023? For the most part, prior to 2022, Jones was viewed as a disappointment. He averaged 62.9% completion, 2,799 passing yards, 15 touchdowns a season, and has a 12-25 record. The Giants own a 7-4 record this season with Jones under the helm at quarterback. Yet his 10 touchdowns and 4 interception stats aren't exactly eye candy. Nope, no, they're not. Still, Jones hasn't turned the ball over nearly as much as the previous seasons. He's also played without most of his key offensive playmakers throughout the season. I mean, as I said, it would be so nice to see, but it's just what he could do, with some talent around him, right? And it says there's a chance the Giants re-sign Jones, which would make sense, even if it's only for a short-term basis. The quarterback options for the 2023 NFL draft might not be favorable to New York, especially if they're low in the selection order. Veteran free agents, which include Jacoby Brissett, Taylor Heineke, Baker Mayfield, nope, aren't upgrades over Jones. And potential unhappy Pro Bowl quarterbacks such as Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson could remain with their team. But remember, if we do sign Rodgers or Jackson, right, it's going to be expensive. It's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to chew up a lot of our salary cap. Okay. And it's going to make it harder to re-sign some of those other guys, right? Like maybe we're going to try to I don't know, Darius Slayton, Saquon Barkley, Julian Love, right? So the Giants have some decisions, right? There's still 6 games left in the season, and 4 of those games will be with the Eagles and the Commanders. For the Giants, there's still time to dissect Jones' overall season performance, and the team's next stretch of games could decide his future, which is true. I mean, you really hate to, but it is what it is. I mean, there's that fine line. You got to step up and perform, but then it's like, well, he doesn't have anybody to throw the ball to, so it's difficult, and it's in a way, it's a shame. Do I think is he a phenomenal quarterback? No. Will he ever be a phenomenal quarterback? No, I don't think so. Is he somebody you can win with? Yeah. I mean, if you could get some talent around the guy and if the talent can actually stay healthy, yeah. I mean, he can prove serviceable. Absolutely. And it wouldn't cost you a boatload of money. But, we start the season, and as the season goes by, Sterling Shepard, boom, he's hurt. Kadarius Toney, boom, he's hurt. Kenny Golladay, boom, he's hurt. It's like, Daniel Bellinger, boom, he's hurt. It's like every week we lose another guy. I mean, Gonna be tough. But then what's gonna also be tough? The game this Sunday against those Washington Commanders. The Giants really have their work cut out for them. Well, guys, it's been 40 minutes. I've shot my mouth off. Anybody any time at all watching any of this from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. You guys absolutely rock. Or anybody spends any time at all watching the replay of this. Once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys absolutely the best. And as always, guys, you guys stay safe out there and go